This is my suitcase. I open it and speak. When people talk about immigration, they often say, children adapt easily, they learn the language so fast. And I always think, which language exactly? Because for our children, it wasn't one new language, and not even two. It was several at the same time. They live and study in Basque. They communicate in Spanish. At home, they grow up in Russian, because that's our family language and it never disappeared. And on top of that, there's English. Not because they asked for it, but because apparently we enjoy chaos. So no, it's not bilingualism. It's not even trilingualism. It's more like a linguistic salad, especially for our youngest. He doesn't really have one language. He has situations. Russian at home, Basque at school, Spanish with friends, and English somewhere in the background, just in case. And somehow it works. Not perfectly, not neatly, but it works. There was no transition period, no gentle introduction, no let's start slowly, just welcome to life, good luck. They didn't choose this. There was no family meeting, no vote. They were simply told, this is our life now. And still, they adapted faster than anyone else. Children don't overthink mistakes. Adults, on the other hand, can turn one wrong word into a full emotional crisis. Children just speak. They try. They fail and then try again. That language barrier everyone talks about, it never fully formed for them. And that's something I'm genuinely proud of. Because languages are not just about vocabulary, they are about confidence, about not freezing when you don't understand, about not being afraid to open your mouth. And my children learned that very early, not from textbooks, but from life. But if I'm being completely honest, the hardest part wasn't theirs. It was my husband's. Children are allowed to fail. It's expected. It's even encouraged. But when you're 44, failing suddenly feels less presentable, less respectable, less socially acceptable. When you're a child, mistakes are called learning. When you're 44, they are called character-building experiences. He arrived without the language, without cultural codes, without that invisible safety net you only notice once it's gone. And at the same time, he arrived with responsibility for 3 children, for a wife, for a family that needed food, stability, and some sense of direction. No pressure at all. People like to say, oh, construction doesn't really need language. Construction doesn't need language until it suddenly does, usually at the worst possible moment. So, there he was, like a blind kitten with a toolbox and absolutely no instructions. Touching walls, bumping into reality, guessing, trying, failing, trying again and again and again. Not because he enjoys learning, he doesn't. Not because he is naturally gifted with languages, he is not. But because stopping was never an option. And here is something people rarely talk about. Learning as an adult hurts differently. It's not just difficult, it's humiliating. You're fully aware of how intelligent you are, and suddenly you sound like you're not. Learning as an adult is not just difficult, it's a daily reminder that confidence and fluency are not the same thing. And yet, every single day, he showed up. He still struggles to speak, that's the truth. But he's no longer afraid to understand. And more importantly, he's no longer afraid to try. And that shift? That's enormous. Because courage is not about sounding fluent, it's about continuing anyway. So when people ask me how we're doing, I don't say it's amazing, I don't say it's terrible, I say we're managing in our own way. We're not thriving, we're not collapsing, we're somewhere in the very realistic middle. The kids are braver than they were, my husband is stronger than he thinks, And I'm watching all of this with a strange mix of pride, exhaustion, and quiet gratitude. This life isn't glossy. It's not an Instagram story, but it's real. And it's ours. And sometimes that's more than enough. The suitcase is closed, but the conversation will go on.